Guys, welcome back to Drawing Conversation. I am your dedicated nerd, host, and artist, Danny Fisher. And today I am so excited to be drawing He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So let's get started. Guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for your time. It means so much to me. And as always, please hit that like, share this video, and leave a comment below. Let me know how I'm doing. Hey, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe and turn on those notifications. But let's jump in. He-Man is a series that I absolutely loved growing up. Sword and sorcery, magic and adventure. It was the perfect combination of magic and sci-fi, like delicious PB&J. And growing up, I couldn't get enough of it. It was the high point of my day. Now, I have to admit that when I did the research for this, I had no idea how deep the lore was going to go and how amazingly complex and rich the original writers worked to create an amazing history. The writers called the original manuscript the Masters of the Universe Bible. And if you get a chance to read it, do. It will blow your mind. Now, that's not to say that the continuity was perfect, and well, at some points, it really just went off the rails. So for this episode, I'm going to focus hard on more of how the impression of the characters were for me and a high-level overview. He-Man is an animated television series airing in 1983 and takes place in a fictional planet called Eternia. And believe it or not, Eternia is the center of our universe. And within this planet is what's called the seed spark, the last spark from the creation of our own universe. And according to the lore, it will grant whoever possesses it infinite power and become a master of the universe. Not to mention giving anyone an immediate body image crisis. Anyway, being at the center of the universe, this planet lies in the junction of an alternate universe. This is why magic and technology work so perfectly on Eternia. The show takes place after a great battle. You see, Eternians were once a Type 1 civilization, having complete mastery over their planet's resources. The Eternians lived in peace until the Great War. The complete history of the Great War is kind of been lost over the years, as well as the wisdom and knowledge of the ancients. The complete history of the war has been lost in history, and the secrets of the ancients mostly lost as well. The last secrets are hidden away in Castle Grayskull. And Castle Grayskull is loaded with hidden doors and trap rooms that are in fact portals to different dimensions and locations. Now, as a kid, the castle always creeped me out. I mean, why does the good guy have such a creepy castle at a home base? Well, there's a good reason for that. You see, after the Great War, the ancients wanted to hide all the magic and technology from the people and transformed Castle Grayskull from a palace that once glowed with the light of 1,000,000 stars to a forbidding and scary dilapidated castle. What's more, they placed powerful curses on the castle that would make anyone run at first glance. Kind of like a constitution roll for my D&D brethren out there. You've got to be pretty tough just to stand in front of Castle Grayskull, much less cross its drawbridge. You see, the ancients were just that scared of anyone discovering the destructive technology and advanced sorcery that they hid it away. And anyone born with the natural gift of magic or an aptitude for science were immediately chastised and stifled. And after many generations, the Eternians live in a kind of feudal world, yet still having limited technology like sky sleds, and my personal favorite, the attack track, but nothing on a planetary scale. This is the landscape that the Masters of the Universe begin. Now, every generation has a keeper of the secrets in Castle Grayskull. This person is known as the Sorceress. Now, before she was the Sorceress, her name was Tila Na, and one day when she was very young, her village came under attack. She ran to Castle Grayskull for help. There, she was met with the aging sorceress named Kuduk Ungol. Kuduk Ungol promised she would help, but there would be a price. Without even thinking about what that price would be, Tila Na agreed, and all the powers of the ancient sorceress transferred into her. She did end up saving her village, but could never lead a normal life. As sorceress and keeper of the secrets of Castle Grayskull, she has a range of powers. She obviously knows all the secrets and hidden doors within the Castle Grayskull, but she's also an extremely powerful telepath, able to communicate across space and time. She can teleport herself and others. She can see in the distant past and far future. She also has powerful telekinesis, able to move objects, create fire, conjure magic shields, as well as transform into a falcon known as Zor. Now, her powers are limited to being inside the castle. You see, when she leaves, which is rare, she only has 2 powers, and that's being able to transform into her falcon form and telepathy. In the series, she has a child, but more on her child later. No story is complete without a villain, and Skeletor was fantastic. His mission in life was to take control of Castle Grayskull and learn its secrets. In doing so, he will become a true villainous master of the universe. That's the thing I loved about Skeletor. Single-minded purpose, the best quality of a villain. As scary as he looked, I was never really afraid of him growing up. Maybe it was the high-pitched voice. Thank you, Alan Oppenheimer. Or maybe it was the fact that he was just always cracking jokes. But the thing that blew my mind about Skeletor was the fact that he is actually He-Man's uncle. That's right, let that sink in for a minute. Before he was Skeletor, he was the handsome Prince Keldor, the adopted son of He-Man's grandfather, King Maior. And after King Maior disappeared, Prince Keldor decided he would kill his brother, Prince Randor at the time, with an acid bomb. Well, the plan backfired, literally, and the acid was flung in Keldor's face. Through dark magic, his life was spared, but he would be forever disfigured, and he took on the persona of Skeletor. Now, Skeletor is a powerful sorcerer in the dark art. He can teleport, telepathically control his minions, create illusions, project freeze rays, open portals to other dimensions, and is a skilled scientist. He has superhuman strength, and if that wasn't enough, he's a skilled swordsman and is armed with the Havoc Staff. The Havoc Staff was a weapon that he could use to focus his energy, and his weapon of choice for battling He-Man. Speaking of He-Man, let's move to the man himself. Under the muscles is the secret identity of Prince Adam, son of King Randor and heir to the kingdom of Eternia. I have to level with you. I hated how Prince Adam was always portrayed as a naive buffoon. But to be fair, the best place to hide something is in plain view. We come to learn that He-Man was found by the Sorceress, and having a pure heart and void of corruption, he was given the Sword of Power. With it, he can channel the powers of the ancients by raising his sword into the air and declaring, "By the power of Grayskull, I have the power!" Yes, my inner nerd is doing cartwheels. This action transforms him into He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. He-Man is not just pure strength. He can run at over 300 miles an hour, indestructible skin, and is skilled in virtually every weapon. He's a natural telepath, and to top it off, he wears the Harness of Power, made from cordite, a rare metal found only on Eternia. This harness amplifies his already incredible strength to be able to do things like lift Castle Grayskull, push his moon back into its proper orbit, and he's once even fought Superman. Now, we have to mention that He-Man is also half human. Yeah, that's right. That totally blew my mind. While his father is King Randor, King of Eternia, his mother is Marlena Glenn from Earth. She was an astronaut that flew through some type of spatial anomaly and crash landed on Eternia. Nursed back to health by King Randor, they fell in love and bore Prince Adam. Think that over for a minute. Now, when He-Man needs a way to cross vast distances quickly, he calls his trusted steed Battle Cat, a massive green tiger clad in red armor. He is fearless and virtually indestructible to conventional weapons. While in Battle Cat form, he has unlimited endurance and is always eager for a fight. Yes, you could have a horse, maybe even an elephant, but a tiger? Over the top, and I loved it as a kid, and still do now. Battle Cat also has a secret identity. He is Cringer, the cowardly pet tiger to Prince Adam. You see, when Adam transforms, he can direct a portion of the power of Castle Grayskull into Cringer. It was also alluded that if Battle Cat didn't transform back into Cringer, he is capable of going into an unstoppable bloodlust and destroys anything or anyone in his path. Now let's talk more about Skeletor's horde. Masters of the Universe introduced us to a ton of villains, and I wanted to mention some of my favorite, even though there are literally dozens. Topping the charts is Evil Lyn. She is Skeletor's first in command, and is also a mighty sorceress. She is from a powerful family of wizards who look down on her for using her powers for evil, but she has an overwhelming thirst for more power. She is by far the smartest of Skeletor's horde and has the ability to shapeshift. Her magic wand greatly amplifies her power and is a magical source unto itself. I have got to mention that in the original He-Man Masters of the Universe manuscript, Evil Lyn was actually from Earth. That's right, she was on board the same ship as Queen Marlena. Her original name was Evelyn Powers, and she was jealous of Marlena for becoming captain. When their ship crashed, she was transformed into Evil Lyn, becoming a minion of Skeletor. Next up, we come to Beastman. Beastman is just that, half beast with fangs and a lion's mane, and half man. He not only has super strength, but he also has the ability to control animals. Everything from small creatures to large dragons. But his animal control is not perfect. For example, he can't control Battle Cat or other similarly intelligent animals. He was also depicted as Skeletor's muscle and stayed in the series really longer than any other minion in the entire series. I loved how he would just also be the comic relief, always bubbling plans and stumbling over his own feet. While the series never explored his origin story, again, we have to go back to the Masters of the Universe Bible, explaining that he was also from Earth. That's right, he was the lead technician on Marlena Glenn's ship and was also on board when they crashed. He was Biff Beastman and owned a farm where he would often abuse his livestock. After crash landing, he mutated and became known only as Beastman. Finally, we come to Triclops. Being the strongest member of Skeletor's minions, he is almost a match for He-Man's strength. That's right, he's that tough. As his name implies, he has 3 different mechanical eyes, able to see miles away using his Distavision, see through solid objects using his Gamma Vision. He can even shoot frickin' laser beams from his eyes and see in almost perfect darkness. He is an amazing hunter, and this makes him a perfect spy for Skeletor. Much like other characters in the show, Triclops' origins were never truly explored. But again, if you lean in to the Masters of the Universe Bible, there was a 4th and final member of Marlena Glenn's crew. Yes, that's right. Triclops was from Earth. He was Dr. T.E. Scope, a brilliant doctor and inventor of all manner of ocular appliances. After crash landing, he's mutated and becomes Triclops. With villains this powerful, He-Man often needed backup. And to me, the most memorable hero was Man-at-Arms. Prince Adam's combat instructor and head of Royal Guard. Clad in armor and equipped with wrist-mounted blasters, he was always ready for a brawl. He is Duncan, master of weapons, and is one of the last people who understand the technical knowledge of the ancients. He would make the coolest vehicles and weapons to defend the kingdom from Skeletor's forces. Now it's true, while most children that had a natural ability to understand technology were stifled, one person in a generation is allowed to learn the technology of the ancients, albeit at the lowest levels, and that knowledge is passed from one man-at-arms to the next. He was the stoic and father figure to everyone on the series. Duncan was all these things, but he was also a father. His adopted daughter was Teela. One day while scouting, the voice of the Sorceress called to Duncan and led him to a bush where a baby lay sleeping. The Sorceress told men-at-arms that this was her daughter and she would be named Teela. She instructed men-at-arms to raise Teela as his own, and she grew as Prince Adam's classmate and peer. However, she was miles ahead of Adam in terms of academics and discipline. Teela hated that Adam was such a class clown, but still scored so high in all of his exams. What was amazing about Teela was that she was the most qualified to be the next man-at-arms, but the show also alluded that one day she would become the Sorceress. Last but not least, we have Orko. Orko is an interdimensional creature known as a Trollian, a race of blue-skinned creatures that possess magical abilities. Now, Trollians have to use a pendant to focus their magic. Without this pendant, their magic can easily backfire. And yes, this made Orko the butt of many jokes. Orko first came to Eternia when a cosmic storm accidentally transported him there. The first person he meets is Prince Adam, stuck in a tar pit with his pet Cringer. Orko saves them, but loses his pendant in the process. So yeah, if it wasn't for Orko, there'd be no He-Man. And don't let size fool you. Orko is extremely powerful and has even battled Skeletor. Eventually he does find his way back to his home planet, but decides that Eternia is his true home and visits from time to time. Now, I'm not saying the series was perfect, and rewatching those episodes as an adult, kinda tough. I mean, the show was made to sell toys after all. But the nostalgia, oh man, is amazing. Looking back, this series meant so much to me because it was about choosing good when it's so easy to choose bad. And to me, that's what it means to be a master of the universe. Now guys, thank you so much for watching my take on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Now, if you enjoyed watching it as much as I did drawing it, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button down below, turn on those notifications so you don't miss any episodes, and leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing and what you want to see drawn, and I will talk to you again soon.